One of the best pieces of advice I ever got was from a seasoned mom friend when I was just starting out my journey as a new mom. And she told me to enjoy each stage with my kids instead of always looking forward to the next milestone or the next age. And I've tried to remind myself of that advice often over the last 11 years as a mom, especially when I feel anxious or annoyed with the difficult parenting season that I'm in. I always go back to that advice. So join me today as we get some important homemaking tasks done, and I'm also going to just talk to you about finding joy in the life that God already gave you. I've used my friend's advice in many areas of my life, more than just motherhood. I think we can apply that to so many different areas of our lives and just be thankful for the season you're in instead of looking ahead. Because sometimes I think we look too far ahead and we're just wishing for a bigger house or wishing for kids that were older and more independent, which would give me more free time, or maybe just wishing for less dishes and laundry or less mess around the home. But when we're always looking ahead to something that we don't have right in front of us, we lose contentment. We also lose out on the joy and the peace that is found in today, in the present moment. And one of my favorite verses comes from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verses 16 through 18. And it's just really simple advice, but the verses tell us, always be joyful, never stop praying, be thankful in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus. And so whenever I find myself dissatisfied and I start to complain about homemaking tasks or just little inconveniences around the home or with my family, I always want to take my thoughts captive and turn them into thankfulness and choosing joy instead of complaining. So in those verses, God told us to be thankful in all circumstances. That little word all really sticks out to me because it can be difficult sometimes to be thankful for all things. But it truly is the best thing we can do, especially as homemakers. Instead of grumbling or complaining about all of the dishes that need done, I often will remind myself to be thankful for those dirty dishes. Yes, I can be thankful for dirty dishes, and here's why. Those dishes mean that I was able to feed my family a home-cooked meal. It means that my whole family was able to sit around the table together and share a meal together. And so having those dirty dishes to wash after dinner is truly a privilege, and it's something that I can absolutely be thankful for. But it's a mindset shift that has to happen. Changing negative thoughts that you think about the chores that you do around the house or just anything in life into positive, helpful thoughts is one of the best things that you can do. And I teach this in my course. I talk about it in my free resource called the Motivated Homemaker Workshop. But God, in his wisdom, he told us to be thankful and joyful and to choose joy in our lives. And if we are complaining about whatever it is that we have to do in our life, really what we're doing is we're saying that God made a mistake, and that's not true. God did not make a mistake with the life that he gave you, with the home that you're in, with the kids that you have, with the husband that you have. All of that is a gift from God. There is a simple beauty in the everyday, seemingly mundane work that we do as homemakers. And you are serving your family as a homemaker. Joy isn't just something that we chase after, it's something that we choose each day, right in the middle of the dishes and the laundry and the meal making and the tying of the shoes and the tidying up. That is the life that God has given us and the life that he has told us to be joyful with and to be thankful for. So just a quick reminder today that You don't need a different life. You don't need something to change. You just need to be thankful for the life that you have right now. So today I just would encourage you to choose joy, choose thankfulness, because the life that you have right now is a gift from God. We were having a new recipe this evening. It was just cheesy beef potatoes in a skillet, and I will leave a link below to the recipe. It's not my recipe. It's just one that I discovered on Pinterest. Every once in a while, I like to try a new recipe, and so I had sent this one to my husband and said, "What do you think?" And he said we could try it. So we did. He loves meat and potatoes. My whole family is actually just like a meat and potato type of family, except for me. I'm the odd one out. I would eat chicken and a salad basically like every meal if I could, but meat and potatoes is where it was at this evening. So I was just warming up the ground beef and getting it all cooked, and then you make a sauce with heavy cream and chicken broth, and then you just add in all of your seasonings and just kind of thicken it up. And then you add the diced potatoes and the ground beef. And then the best part is the cheddar cheese that you put on top. So I'm just going to get all that put together this evening for dinner. I will say this was a recipe that I did not love, but my family did. They said we could have it again. So it is going on the rotation for more meals. I mean, it's not that I didn't like it. It just wasn't a favorite. But if you have meat and potato fans in your family, they will most likely enjoy this meal as well. I did have to transfer it to a bigger pot because my cast iron skillet was just not big enough. But anyways, so for dinner, I just added some apple slices on the side and a biscuit, kept it pretty simple. It was definitely a comfort food rather than a healthy meal this evening. Food, I think if you have like a rainstorm this summer and you're kind of indoors, it would be a great meal option. On this particular day, I did some of my weekly cleaning that I like to do here in the kitchen, just moving around some of the things on the countertop and getting them wiped down. The top of the microwave always gets a little dusty, and so I just have to move the things off the top of it and wipe it down. And then same with the appliances. I always like to keep the microwave wiped down on a regular basis, especially inside of it, so that it doesn't get so gross and hard to clean. I've also found that the main thing to keep a clean microwave is whenever I am microwaving food, I always put a paper towel over top of it. And I try to remind my kids to do the same because that just saves on so many splatters, but it just also makes the cleanup way easier. So I was getting the appliances wiped down in here as well, just the stove and then the dishwasher and my refrigerator. So when I bought the refrigerator, we got it. I talked about this in a couple of videos back where our refrigerator had died. And so we had to get a new one, and we got one as a deal at a scratch and dent. But after I had purchased it, the guy told me, oh, well, when he was trying to sell it to me, he said it was a fingerprint, like reducing type surface. And then after I decided on it, he was like, oh wait, it's not fingerprint reducing, it's actually harder to clean. And I thought, oh no, well, it's actually not that bad. I just wipe it down, like on a weekly basis, and it's just fine. So it really wasn't that difficult of a thing. But anyway, so I got all the appliances done, and then I also needed to scrub out my sink because that definitely needed a good cleaning as well. Then the last two things that I have for today are I always go outside every evening and I check my flowers and my plants and just listen to the birds chirp. It's just such a wonderful daily ritual that I have in the summer, and I love it. I just find so much joy and peace just walking outside in my backyard and taking in all of the colors and the sounds. So I'm going to show you a little bit of that, and then I'm going to change the bed sheets or put the clean bed sheets on for the evening, which again is another just simple joy of homemaking is clean sheets. I love jumping into bed with clean sheets. So when we're just thankful for those little things, it really makes a big difference. If you have stuck with me to the end of my day, I just want to say thank you for joining me. I hope that I gave you some motivation and some inspiration as a homemaker. I know I need it, and I love sharing it with other women here online, here on YouTube, and then also through my emails and my free resources. So if you have not signed up for my Motivated Homemaker workshop, I want to invite you to join it. I will leave a link below. And then if you are even interested in taking my course, I will leave a link to that as well. But thank you so much. And I hope that today you would just embrace the life that God has given you.